Yo, welcome back to the GM Podcast. I'm Miller.
I'm Gav.
And today, we'll be talking some Sweet 16, predicting some Elite 8 action. And we'll also be talking about the current NBA race with Victor Wembanyama taking the lead on the current MVP ladder. I have a lot to say about that. But first thing we're going to do, we're going to talk about some winners and losers of the Sweet 16. So, Gav, I'm going to go ahead start with you. Start off with a winner. Who won this Sweet 16 round?
A winner for me, and kind of doesn't really just go with the Sweet 16, but kind of goes with this whole season. LeBaron Philon.
All right, that was one of mine as well. All right.
And I feel like LeBaron Philon showed, I feel like last game stamped him as a lottery pick. Yes, he lost the game, but dropping upwards of 30 points against, and he wasn't just shooting a bunch of jump shots. He was making a lot of jump shots, though, but he was getting to the rim as well against the, you know, you could argue whether it's the best or not. It's up there with the best front courts in the country. Probably is the best front court, but it definitely is the biggest front court in the country. And, you know, we talk about translating from NBA, you know, like he's not short, but he's a smaller guard in the NBA. Like, he's not a big guard. Those are the type of questions that need to be answered, and I feel like it was answered last night. And I think he could be a really good NBA guard and really good scorer in the NBA. So, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And just, it's almost like you see the 30 points, and that's very impressive for college, but you almost, if you didn't watch the game, you don't really understand what he did last night. Yeah. Every single one of his buckets was very loud. It almost seemed like he had a 40 ball. Yeah. And I think he very much fits the mold of a Lou Williams, a Jamal Crawford. And a lot of people are going to say after last night's performance, well, that's disrespectful. You don't think he'd be more than that? Lou Williams and Jamal Crawford are all-time bench players, spark plugs, important players for their team. LeBaron Philon, I think, almost in his second year in the league, once he just gets that little bit of experience, can average upwards of 18 to 22 points
100%.
Immediately, just based off the way he scores. It seems like no one can stay in front of him. I would argue, and you said this in the last podcast, as a one-on-one basketball player, I don't know if there's a better player in the country.
Not. We're talking about getting a bucket. There's not a better. We're playing once. LeBaron Philon will win in the entire NCAA with guards and wings.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna go ahead. I agree with that. I'm gonna go ahead and get into my first winner.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw out Caleb Foster.
Okay. I agree.
Okay.
They don't win that game.
They do not win that game without Caleb Foster. And battling your way back after 3 weeks, you just had surgery. That you're gonna live in the fan base's hearts for a long time. The fact that you fought back, and once again, I think he was the reason, along with Isaiah Evans hitting all those big time shots, that they won that game yesterday.
Yeah, and I think I've said this time and time again, the upperclassmen, the seniors, is why you win games. Like, not to discredit Isaiah Evans or Cam Boozer, they are the two best players on the offensive end, and really they're two best players.
Yeah.
But that's not why you win games.
No.
What sets you over the top is Malik Brown, Caleb Foster, those two in particular, because they're the guys that I see making the winning plays, taking care of the ball, making the right play, doing things of that nature. More than just scoring and playmaking. They are, controlling the pace of the game, and they're just veterans. Like, you see it, same thing with Arizona. Like,
that's exactly
Burries and Cole Pete are amazing. Yeah. But Jaden Bradley is what makes that team a 1 seed.
Yeah.
Without Jaden Bradley, they're 3 seed. They're really good. They're really, really good. But it's the seniors and the veterans that make these elite teams at what they are.
I'm glad you said that as well, because I didn't even want to put Caleb Foster by himself. I wanted to put upperclassmen point guards, because Jaden Bradley, like you said, if they don't have Jaden Bradley, he is the reason that engine goes.
Yes.
Braden Smith is the same way. He is the reason that offense is so prolific.
100%.
So these upperclassmen guards are really showing out. And I will throw in, talking about Caleb Foster, and then we can move on to your first loser.
Okay.
Caden Boozer, I think I cursed him last night, actually. I texted in our group chat. I was like, Caden Boozer, he's a gamer. He had some good minutes in there.
Right.
And then I don't know what started happening to him.
Yeah.
He let a guy pick his pocket in the backcourt.
Yeah.
And they were getting fast break dunk after fast break dunk. Felt like the wheels were coming off, and then Caleb Foster comes in. And honestly, he did something that he hadn't usually done in terms of driving and scoring the ball at a very high rate. So, once again, props to Caleb Foster for coming back. I think he solidified himself last night as not I won't go as far to say a Duke legend, but someone that Duke, the Duke fandom will speak of very highly for a very long time.
I mean, if they win a national championship this year, they will look at him like they did Trey Jones.
Yes.
That's Jones.
Very true.
Ty Jones.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
I mean, kind of is a legend in a sense.
Absolutely.
I mean, he'll be the last guard he'll be the last guard that they talk about in a sense until they win that next one. You know what I mean? They always talk about Ty Jones to this day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Your first loser of the Sweet 16.
Yeah, my first loser. This is kind of probably gonna shock you, but this is just my personal opinion. They might end up winning the coaching carousel, but UNC.
Okay.
And my reason for this, my top two candidates were Dusty May 1 and Tommy Lloyd number 2. And the farther that they advance in this tournament, it makes me less confident that they'll take another job. And I was, as a UNC fan, I was happy to hear Tommy Lloyd kind of make the statement like, we're going to stay in the moment. We're going to focus on right now. Like, that sounds like a guy he's not saying no to UNC,
but he's saying
while
there's a
all
chance.
These other coaches are saying, no, the rumors are not true. He's not saying that. He's just saying, we're going to focus on right now.
Yeah.
Which, but not to jump ahead, but they win tonight. They win the Final Four against Michigan. I assume who they'll play. It's hard to leave a team who if you make the national championship, or if you win the national championship, it's hard to jump that job, leave a job.
It wouldn't make any sense to me at all. And you have to argue, is UNC even a better job than Arizona at this point with the recruits that they've obtained?
Yeah.
It's a discussion.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you, but you do have to ask the question, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you said that as your first loser, because I actually have a loser, but it's in the direct opposition of what you just said. Your top three, where you said Dusty May, Tommy Lloyd, and then you also threw in the guy from Texas Tech, which I don't think that's an option right now. But another guy you threw in there when talking about this a couple weeks ago was TJ Otzelberger.
Right.
So my biggest loser was Iowa State, who I think, and honestly, it's not even their fault. Because Jefferson gets hurt.
Yeah.
And I think if they have Jefferson yesterday, they probably win that game because it looked like they just got outsized yesterday. They were bullied.
Right. I mean, that's a top player in the Big 12, so yeah,
absolutely.
It hurts. You can't win games that far without a player like that.
No. And your leading scorer yesterday, number 0, I'm forgetting his name right now.
Lipsy.
No, Lipsy's the point guard. Number 0 was the white guy who was who was shooting, he was playing good.
Oh.
But Lipsy as well, I was gonna get to him. Lipsy, senior.
Yep.
0, senior.
Momchilovich might not be there.
He's not going to be there. He's probably going to go to the draft.
Yeah.
Jefferson, senior. So you're talking about that whole roster leaving. You don't know as Iowa State, can I get the big recruits? Can I get the big transfer guys? I think for Iowa State, it's not just losing in the Sweet 16. There's a big possibility, in my opinion, that TJ Otzelberger gets the UNC job. And I think for UNC, that would be a very wise move, considering at least what he's been able to do on the defensive end.
You would like him over Billy Donovan? Because it seems...
He's more in touch with college basketball right now. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Now, Billy Donovan is a national championship winning coach, so it's tough. But I look at it, and I've watched Iowa State's defense for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's up there with the top 5 defenses in college basketball.
Right.
And when I looked at the latter stretch of UNC versus VCU just this year and how guys were literally getting free runs to the paint for layups,
right,
I do wonder if that's something that UNC, just from a basketball perspective, would be interested in. So, yeah, Iowa State for me, in a world where I think the last 3 years they easily could have at least made a Final Four. And I think they might have got to an Elite Eight. I forget. But I don't even know if they did.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Iowa State.
Nah, they didn't.
Yeah,
they keep getting, but they always are injured.
Yeah.
Like last year, they were injured. This year, they were injured. Like, they've been injured. So
it's tough. But, yeah, I would say Iowa State. It sucks for them, but, yeah, they're a loser for me.
Yeah.
Let's get on to your last winner of the day.
Okay, my last winner. Okay. Where was I going with this? You're going to have to cut this.
It's fine. Because I look in here and do my research, too. I forgot.
Because I was thinking loser. I kept thinking loser. Okay. I got you.
All right, go ahead.
My last winner. I have to go with. I got to go with Rick Barnes here.
Okay.
And not too much into it other than he finds ways to win games.
Mm-hmm.
His style. I feel like Rick Barnes, and there's a lot of other examples. Whether it's Patino, who I thought should have beat Duke yesterday, or Dan Hurley, Tom Izzo. Coaching is more valuable in college basketball than it is in any other sport.
Yeah.
And I can't really put my finger on it other than the amount of talent that there is, and the way the rules are. There's more styles and more ways to win in college basketball than there is in any other form of basketball.
Yeah.
So I would say that. And I think time and time again he showed, he even said in an interview, like, I wish there wasn't a 3-point line. We would just, like, if it was a football team, like, we would just run goal line plays in a sense every time. Yeah. And that's kind of like, it's how they play college basketball. They want to, keep the game low scoring. They want to hit the bigs. And they're going to let Gillespie hoop.
Yeah.
Recruited Bishop Boswell, and he just guards the other team's best guard or best wing every single game.
Yes.
He did great on Momcilovic.
Yeah.
They kind of simplify the game of basketball. They don't do nothing crazy. And yeah, I just think he's an elite coach. So I say Rick Barnes is the winner of this.
Yeah, I mean, I saw as soon as the starting lineups popped up and your 3 is 6'10" and your 2 bigs are 6'11", it's already like, damn, like, if you're looking at that from the other team and Nate Ament can shoot the way he shoots, it's like we should beat them, but it's tough. And we're on the same track for a lot of these because I'm also going to go with a coach that I think won the Sweet 16. I'm going with Ben McCollum from Iowa.
100%.
D2 coach who obviously was extremely successful. Northwestern
Missouri State.
There you go. How many national championships did he win there?
Like
5 or
4 or 5.
4 or 5, something like that. And when I put my winner, I also just put D2 coaching. I think what Ben McCollum has proved is that if you know basketball and you get the chances and you keep your foot on the gas, then just prevail and stay at it, and you can get to wherever you want to get if you can coach basketball. 100%. Once again.
And it also proves that, like, sometimes it's not like some of these lower level coaches are actually better because they have to do more or they're working with less resources.
Absolutely.
To be honest, you can make an argument. This might sound crazy, but it's harder to win at Northwestern Missouri State than it is at Duke. You could argue that.
Yes, that's very true.
Because, like the resources, how much money compared to all these other schools, whatever the case may be. Now, obviously, he's not competing with schools with millions of dollars either, but so yeah, I think it's just impressive what he's been able to do.
Yeah,
and it's kind of crazy the style of play he plays.
Yeah.
It throws teams off.
Yes,
because you got teams like Alabama, Michigan, whether it's Duke, and you got these teams that play this fast-paced basketball up and down. We're getting up threes, we're getting to the rim, quick-paced basketball. Even St. John's playing fast and wanting to trap you, speed you up, and you got Iowa who literally will waste all 30 seconds of the shot clock. The game against Clemson in round 1, another slow-paced team, there was 27 total possessions in the first half.
That is insane.
27 total possessions, which is
unheard of almost.
Yeah, so that's just ridiculous. So I would definitely say he's top-tier elite coach. I don't think UNC can get him. I just think he wants to. He's from Iowa. Like, I just don't think he'll leave.
A lot of the guys he's brought over are from Drake, and that's also a very impressive point. Like,
he has two or three, at least 2 guys that were D2 with him. Bennett Sturt's his best player.
Yes, he
recruited to go to Northwest Missouri State, brought him to Drake, brought him to Iowa, and his role never changed. No. He was the guy at all levels.
Absolutely. So, and he can go along with one of the biggest winners as well.
100%, because I think he's already been in lottery talks, and going with that pace, them playing the slowest pace in college basketball. They're the 3rd slowest pace in college basketball, and out of all the good teams, they are the slowest.
Yeah.
It has to be talked about in a sense of he's getting 20 a game very efficiently, like almost 50% or 50% from the field, and he's doing that in less possessions. Imagine he played for Bama.
And he gets he's
getting way more shots up, way more possessions than he might average 23, 24 again.
Yeah.
We're talking about him even more. So I think what he's been able to do this season and never decline every time he's jumped is just extremely impressive to me.
It definitely is. He's a very smart basketball player. You watch him and you just think almost like, how does this not translate?
Yeah. I mean, he's played all 120 minutes that his team has played. He hasn't got subbed out once, and he has one turnover, and he has the ball in his hands.
And I think there was a stat that he had like not even 5 fouls or something like that in the 3 games as well. It might have been 1 foul. Yeah.
No, he has 0 fouls. He has 0 fouls, 1 turnover.
I don't understand how you
0 fouls, 1 turnover, and played all 120 minutes.
Extremely impressive. So just props to Iowa basketball. And then your last loser of the day.
Yeah, my last loser, and it's not like he like completely lost, but I'm gonna have to go with Darius Acuff.
Ooh, you're gonna have to explain that to me.
Yeah, and it's not like he lost in like, you know, just a terrible way, but more of, you know, I think like I said on the pod a few weeks ago, if I was the Mavericks, I might consider taking him number 1 because I already have a number 1 pick.
Yeah,
it's a little different.
Yeah,
it's not like this is our one guy we're building around. Now we already have the guy we're building around.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Exactly.
Because Cooper Flag will go number 1 in this draft.
Yeah,
but. Other than, I don't know, the Mavericks, like, I think I would probably take him 5 at the highest, 4 or 5 at the highest. And the reason that I say that is, like I've told you, as good as he is offensively, the only way he can be a guy, as in a number 1 or number 2 option, or a number 1 option. He could be a number 2 option because Karl-Anthony Towns is a bad defender. But the only way he could be a number 1 option, which in this draft class, as good as it is, if you're drafting the top 5, you think you're drafting a number 1 option.
Yeah.
Is he has to be Allen Iverson, Steph Curry.
Yes.
Along those lines. He has to be that good on the offensive end.
Yeah.
He has to be that good because his defense is bad.
It's really bad.
It's really bad. And I've been saying this, and, you know, it was a trend, and people picked Arkansas off of vibes.
Yeah.
Like, because watching Arizona, watching Arkansas, their front courts aren't even comparable. And John Calipari has to change the way he builds his rosters because the only time he's won a championship is with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And the best front court player in the country.
Yeah.
And if you look at Michigan, Florida, Duke, and Arizona, all 4 1 seeds, they don't have the best guards in the country. They have the best front courts in the country.
Yes.
And having an elite front court, you still need elite guards, but you can have 1 elite guard.
Yeah.
Having 4 elite front court players is much more valuable than 4 elite backcourt players, and I think John Calipari has to evaluate himself because, yes, you made it to the Sweet 16, you had a good year, and you got beat by probably teams going to win the national championship, so I'm not knocking it. But you beat Hawaii, you beat High Point.
Yeah.
And the years before, you've had the same like you lost to Oakland, you lost to St. Peter's. Like, at some point, Calipari needs to make a run farther. Now, I still think he's winning the breakup between Kentucky, but, you know, that's just my thought on that.
And I think Calipari, he's still a good coach, but
right. 100%.
With Acuff, I think, like you said, at least the one thing he needs to do is start specializing in something on defense. One thing about Stephen Curry, when you watched him play defense back like in his prime, he was extremely attentive and showed a lot of effort on the defensive end.
Right.
If he was getting scored on, it's because someone
got
was
bullied.
Yes,
They
were more genetically
down
gifted.
or whatever.
Exactly. And Allen Iverson, same thing with him, but as an off-ball player. And Steph Curry, I think, at one point led the league in steals. But Allen Iverson was a great guy at getting in the passing lanes and getting fast break transition opportunities. Darius Acuff, right now, and I'm not saying he can't get to a point where he's better, but right now is a cone. If you put him in a pick and roll situation, he's beat.
Yep.
And off ball, it's not like he's blocking shots. It's like there's nothing he offers.
Yep.
So I do agree with you. I do think as an offensive player, he is talented enough to still go top 5. And I think if the right team gets the right pick and they already have their front court set, then he should obviously be the guy, the best guard in the class.
I still think he should be first guard out the board.
Yes, but just defensively, I didn't like what I saw. At all.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously there's health concerns, but like I'd for sure take Caleb Wilson over him.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and you know, depending on the team, you got to think Boozer him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Boozer has, as good as he's played, eye test, he's not helping his stock much in this tournament.
Boozer?
Yeah.
No, I would say first half of yesterday, Boozer was a loser in terms of what I watched. Now,
100%.
second half, he turned it on.
And he came through.
Yeah.
He came through 100%. But the way he's coming through, I mean, we're about to talk about Wemby in a second. Like, once again, if you're taking a player in the top 5, you're thinking they're going to be a number 1 option.
Yeah. He's not.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm trying to think of number 1 options on teams, and I'm trying to think of what team he could be a number 1 option on.
And my thing is right now is the buckets he's getting, he's stronger than everybody.
Yeah.
As a freshman, he's stronger than everybody. And he is a winner, and he's a smart basketball
100%.
player.
Like, I think he's an elite piece to draft.
Yes,
I'm not knocking that at all.
Piece. But I'm thinking Cameron Boozer's best comp is Carlos Boozer. That's kind of how I think about it. Like a strong guy with a better handle
and
3-ball. And let's see if that translates, because I haven't seen a lot of 3-ball making from Cameron Boozer.
Maybe
in
modern
this tournament.
day Carlos Boozer.
So
just modernize it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I still, once again, there's no disrespect on his name. But
no. It's something that you have to take into account.
Yes.
Like, it's the same thing with, I mean, if you would watch Luka Garza in college, you would. The reason he's the player of the year.
Yeah.
The reason he's not getting drafted number 1 is how he's doing it. Same thing. I mean, Oscar Tshiebwe.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously he's better than those guys, but just putting up the numbers doesn't make you the best guy in the class.
No.
It's about how you do it, because when we watch Darren Peterson and AJ Nabansa, it translates to the NBA much more than backing down, college bigs that will only be college bigs and maybe just go overseas or something. So there's definitely a difference.
Absolutely. And my loser, once again, I don't know how we did this the entire time, but we literally stayed on the exact same path.
Right.
Based off what we were talking about. I actually chose Kingston Flemings for my loser.
Fair.
And
that's fair.
Just once again, I thought he played a good game, but I'm assuming he's going to be a top 7 pick. That's what I put on his name. If you're going
before that game, or you saying still will probably?
I think he has the possibility, and Nicole Pete throw him in there. So top 10. Let's just say top 10.
Cole Pete's getting thrown at 19 on mocks.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that. That's ridiculous.
That's why I'm saying Hornets.
But yeah, if they can get Cole Pete, that's perfect. I'll watch Cole Pete play against Arkansas. That dude is a freaking winner. He could put the ball there, a lob threat. There's just a lot. I think he translates so perfectly.
And at some point, we have to stop focusing so much on potential. Like, I'm sorry, I think Cole Pete's going to be much better than Nate Ament. I think so. Well, I really do.
We'll have to see about that. That's true. Right. I think there's a way Nate Ament. I agree with you that I think he will be better. I just have to see what Nate Ament can, because there are parts of Nate Ament's game that are just so raw, in my opinion, right now, that I think he can develop. A lot of you, like you and the Twins, that y'all were calling him soft. I don't think he's soft. I just think he does like he almost looks like a pigeon out there playing or something like that.
But can't play the 4 or the 5.
So
that's what I mean by soft, as in a sense like he can't. He's 6'10", can't play the 4 or 5. He doesn't have a blick though.
No.
And then,
but last night he played a good basketball. Those are the type of performances that
100%. But then you go donut against Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Like you can't have this inconsistency, and we only focus on the good.
Yeah. But back to Kingston Flemings. Yeah. My biggest problem, and I think your biggest problem as well, was the way he went about that game.
Yeah.
He was so conservative and not aggressive that I'm almost like, first off, are you trying to improve your draft stock?
Yeah.
And also, are you trying to win the basketball game? Because throughout the season, you averaged 16 points. Yep. And I would argue as a shot creator, actually, I wouldn't argue. I would say for a fact as a shot creator, you are the best shot creator on that team. Yeah. And it almost felt like in the second half, you're relying on guys like Chris Sinak, Emmanuel Sharp to make shots for you.
Right.
And Emmanuel Sharp, it's like he's the only guy that showed up to play.
Right.
When he is the one with experience. So you expect that from Emmanuel Sharp. But Kingston Flemings I watched him in Big 12 play, and he's going to get his. Play after play, he's breaking down, getting to the mid-range, shooting over the top, Russell Westbrook style in 2012, and he's making those shots. He's taking big-time threes. He's getting to the baseline, rising up, once again, shooting the midi, getting to the lane. Against who did they play? Against Illinois.
Right.
It's like he didn't want to take any of those shots.
Yeah.
He didn't want, and I think he went 4 for 10. His season average, he only shot 13 shots. But once again, sometimes you can't just look at the stat sheet. You actually have to watch the games.
Right.
And the way he was passing up shots, I was almost like, are you a gamer? I see the talent.
Yeah.
But
and I think he is. Like, I saw it time and time again. But once again, we've seen it time and time again. Freshmen's in March.
Yes.
It's just different. It's neutral site. You might, granted, they were in Houston, but it's neutral site. It's just different. And the feel of a March Madness game, you can't replicate it.
No.
You can't replicate it. It doesn't matter. Even Duke, they tried to play at this same arena earlier in the year against Michigan to replicate it. You can't replicate it. You can't replicate a March Madness game. You just can't. And that's why guys, like I said with Duke, with Caleb Foster and Malik Brown, like those guys, that's why they're so much more valuable in situations like that. And that's, not to go on and on and on, but like we could go on and on forever. But like Wagler was 1 for 8, kept shooting
the ball,
and Wagler with his elite playmaking and the way he plays and the pace he plays at. I'm not saying he will be, but there's a world where he ends up better than Acuff. Like, there's a world where Wagler's the best guard in his class.
Wagler is also a very good catch-and-shoot player, and that makes him, as an offensive player, so much more useful when he does not have to dominate the ball 100%. And is still an extreme threat on that side of the court. And I thought defensively, Wagler, he has the same problem. He has a very small frame.
Yeah.
But his effort, his hands are very good on that side of the ball, too. And Wagler is a guy who I consider as putting as a winner as well, based off how he played. But I agree with you. If there's a guy that I would predict that could be better than Acuff as a guard right now, I would say Wagler for sure.
100%.
And then real quick, before we get into some predictions, I wanted to throw one more loser in there. I'm going to go ahead and throw in college basketball refs. And we're going to go to the Purdue-Texas game where Trey Kaufman-Renn, who, first off, I will say is a good basketball player. I don't particularly love to watch him play. I'm not a big Purdue guy. You know this. I don't know why I hate Purdue. I'm gonna just be honest. I hate Purdue. But
I don't know why.
I don't know why. I just can't stand him. But he's a good basketball player.
Really good.
He's a very good basketball player. Back to the basket. I don't know if there are really a lot more. Him and the other big. I don't know if there's better in the country, but
other than Michigan.
Yeah. But we do have to start looking. First off, if you're going to go to the monitor, get the call right, especially if you're going to sit there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that game started 30 minutes before the Nebraska game, and that game was still going on.
Yes.
When the Nebraska game ended.
I mean, come on. And once again, you are continuously getting calls wrong. Kaufman-Renn literally hooking people, getting them off balance, him throwing himself on the floor, and you continuously keep giving the call to Kaufman-Renn after you went to the monitor 2 times for the exact same call that you were looking at. So I'm just confused on what I'm missing as a basketball fan. Maybe my eyes are not working right, but please get this right before this. And I think Arizona is going to blow them out anyway. And it's not disrespect to Purdue, but I think Arizona is the best team in the country.
Right.
But just that was a really hard watch for me, and it almost put a stain on an impeccable game winner where Kaufman-Renn imposed his will and got to a spot where he could tip that ball in. Yeah. So props to Kaufman-Renn and the player that he is. Once again, I'm not the biggest fan, but he's a great player. But refs, college basketball, NCAA, what are we doing, bro? These replays are atrocious, especially the time you spend on them and the calls you end up having. The first one where it was a double flagrant. Yeah. What was double flagrant about that? Get back to playing basketball.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to give them the flagrant on the next one.
Yeah.
That's just it's bad. But let's go ahead and get into some predictions, and we can start with Arizona and Purdue tonight since I just talked about that. I quite honestly don't know if Purdue has a chance. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm picking Arizona based off I think they're better at dang near every spot on the floor other than maybe point guard. And, we're just going to have to see. And once again, it's no disrespect to Purdue, but I'm watching Arizona, and I predicted this before the tournament. it's just hard for me to see them lose to anybody at this point.
Right.
Just watching them play basketball, they are so deep. They have a good 8 guys that they can put on. Number 30, I forget what his name is. You know who I'm talking about, the big they have that's dunking for Arizona.
Toby Awaka.
Yeah. I'm watching him. I'm thinking he's a starter.
No.
He's not even a starter.
No.
And I think he would start for
and
almost
get a bag.
Yes.
From a lot of
for
teams.
a lot of schools.
And another thing I thought of, like, imagine if Visar stayed.
Yes. Jeez,
like
bro.
Krivas, Visar, Toby Awaka, Koa P. I mean, that is ridiculous.
That's a ridiculous squad, bro.
I mean, it already is.
What's the spread on this game, by the way?
It's
5.5. Yeah, you did say that.
Arizona's gonna smash that.
Yeah, I would definitely smash that.
Granted, it's March, and Purdue has the best offense in the country. So if Arizona can't score at the paint, it might be a different game. And I think what makes, let's say, Duke and let's say Michigan and Arizona or Duke and Arizona face off, I think what's going to set Arizona over the top is DeLorso knocking down threes.
Yeah.
Because we know what they can do in the paint, but let's say you just, and it's the same thing with Duke, let's say you just take that away. It's the Isaiah Evans that makes you beat Siena, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, when they're taking everything away, you can't make a jump shot. He can make a jump shot.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what's going to set. DeLorso needs to hit just 2 threes. If he could just hit 2 threes in each of these games,
absolutely,
I think they'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me Arizona.
Iowa, Illinois. I think it starts in an hour from now, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm extremely excited to watch this one. I think that's going to be
I mean, it's a conference matchup.
Yeah.
And the way Illinois plays, the way Iowa plays, you can't blow them out.
No.
I'm looking at Iowa's record. It wasn't the best record in the regular season. All their games are losing by 5. They're losing by 2. They're losing by 3. They're losing by 7. Because of the pace they play at.
Yeah.
You can't blow them. You go on a 4-0 run, and you're hoping they'll bring it back, shoot a shot. No, they're going a 4-0 run against Iowa.
Slowing it down.
They're just going to walk it up.
Pressured at all.
And I feel like it honestly throws off the other team's offensive rhythm.
Yes.
Because let's say they're going to waste all 30 on the shot clock. Let's say they get 1 offensive rebound.
Yeah.
That's a full 20 seconds. They're going to wait the whole 20 seconds to shoot it.
Absolutely.
You haven't touched the ball for a whole minute now.
Yeah.
It's been 50 seconds and you haven't touched the basketball.
Yeah.
So I think it throws off their rhythm, honestly. So yeah, I would say it's good. I just have to take Illinois off the fact that they're clicking. They're clicking right now. That second half against Houston was really good. And they're playing in that same gym tonight. I just think it'll be a close one, but I'll have to give the nod to Illinois. Illinois has the highest rated offense since Ken Palm has been a thing in, since 2006 maybe? And you see it.
Yeah.
Like, they have 5 high IQ guys, can score at all 3 levels, can shoot the ball, can pass the ball. They're unselfish. And Boswell, I think, is the only American.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy how they built their roster. But yeah, give me Illinois.
So I'm also going to go with Illinois. And they were a team that I did have in a couple of brackets making the national championship. And what I think will set them apart in this particular game is their bigs. Iowa currently does not have a player on their team averaging 5 rebounds. So they're honestly, Iowa is a team by committee in everything they do, scoring, shooting, everything they do as a team, and I do respect that. But a lot of what Iowa does well, Illinois does just as well in terms of shooting the ball, in terms of their offense, controlling their offense with a great point. I think their bigs, Illinois' bigs in this game will be a big difference than they've seen in a lot of these games. I know Nebraska's bigs were pretty solid. I just don't know if they are as good as Illinois'. I don't know.
Mask is really, really
my
good.
favorite, I would just say my favorite big out of all of them is the guy from Arkansas. I forget his name.
Brazil?
No, not Brazil. The guy that plays for Illinois, but
okay. I got you. Yeah,
44. I love him. I love how he plays. I thought when I watched him the first time at Kentucky, I thought he was already going to go to the league after that, just based off he's 7 foot, can shoot the 3 ball,
right?
Can block some shots. So I love him as a prospect, and I think he will have a tremendous game today. And give me Illinois in that one.
Yeah, I agree.
Moving on to tomorrow's games, we have. All right, I can't pull it up right now, but I already know who plays. Duke and UConn. This one is going to be the tightest game for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, in my bracket, I picked UConn.
Yeah.
In my bracket, I picked UConn. Obviously, my reasoning for picking UConn will go against what happened yesterday with Duke winning because I think coaching matters so much. And it's not that John Shire isn't a good coach. It's that beating Dan Hurley in this tournament seems quite impossible.
Yeah.
People don't remember Dan Hurley gave Florida their best shot last year.
Yep.
As an 8th seed.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's vibes, and he always seems to have his players. I saw something he said in the podcast the other day, and with me wanting to get into coaching, like I took it because like I even wrote it down in my notebook. That practices, film, all that, he is their biggest critic. He not bullies his players, but like he's on them hard. And on game day, he's like their cheerleader.
Yeah.
You're the best shooter. He just uplifts
I remember
all his
Solo
players.
Ball hit one yesterday, and
yes.
Oh my gosh.
He just uplifts his players.
Yeah.
He uplifts his players on game day, and I was like, I like that strategy, or like that philosophy. And even last year, I walk away saying, dang, Taurus Reed's only a junior. Taurus Reed's coming back. Taurus Reed in March has been elite the last 2 years, and even this year, I mean, he has a 30 and a 26 and 30 game, and 30 rebound or 20 something rebounds, 30 points, in round one. I mean, he's elite, and I think he's gonna give Boozer problems. I'm gonna, as much as I think Duke might win this game, I'm not gonna go away from my bracket. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with UConn, and I'm gonna take Dan Hurley. I think Solo Ball last night was better, but early in the tournament, he was not good. Going into last night, he was averaging 4 points a game in the tournament after averaging 15 on the year. I think Solo Ball is key in this game because he is the one player on UConn that can play off script. Yeah. And, both point guards, Caleb and Silas, both have a hurt ankle, hurt foot. I think the separator will be Hurley, and can Solo Ball get some off script buckets, get some one-on-one buckets, come off and hit a tough shot. And if they can do that, I think they can get it done. Yeah, I agree. I think UConn has the coaching matchup easily, in my opinion. I mean, he's the best coach in sports. Yeah, just based off the players he has compared to the recruits that Duke gets every single year. Yeah. And like you said, I think the matchup in this game from player to player, they are very similar teams. Yeah. Like Reed, big, strong guy in the paint. Yep. Boozer, big, strong guy in the paint. I think Reed has a possibility to outplay Boozer tomorrow. Absolutely. Sure. So, and you got Caravan. I mean, this is the winningest player in UConn history. Exactly. So you look at those guys, and then you look at Isaiah Evans, a shooter just like Caravan on the other side. You look at guys like Demery, who plays, in my opinion, a lot like Caleb Foster, a little bit bigger. Right. But yeah, I am going to go with UConn in this game, and I didn't have UConn in a Final Four in any of my brackets. I'll keep it honest. I did have Duke get into a Final Four in a couple of them. But I just have watched what has happened in March and how these teams have played in this tournament. Right. And right now, I just think UConn is playing better basketball. And when you look at guys like Solo Ball, who have had good March performances, even if he hasn't been good this tournament. Right. He played great against Florida last year. Absolutely. I just think that UConn has the guys and the personnel to match up great with Duke. Right. Once again, based off of how they've been playing. I think UConn is a little bit better offensively than St. John's is. Yeah. St. John's, honestly, offensive. By the way, props to Rick Pitino. I watch St. John's a lot. And I'm almost the team should not be playing as good as they are. That's how I put that. Like I strongly believe that. They press. That's what switched St. John's season. They started pressing. Yes. Once they started pressing 94 feet, you put Dylan Mitchell on the ball. Yes. I mean, Duke can't get the ball in. No. Like, they struggle to get the ball in. And they couldn't get the ball past half court. I'm interested if Duke gets the whistle that they've been getting. Yes. Dan Hurley will get ejected from this game. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and I'm not even trying to be biased as a Carolina fan, but the free throw discrepancy between the teams that they played and the teams that it's been in watching that TCU game. Yeah. I mean, it's a Duke's up 3 or 4. They get a goaltending, a foul, and then on the other end, it's a. And I don't think there's a big excuse because TCU and St. John's are both two physical teams. 100%. And UConn is also a physical team. Yes. So there is a possibility that the free throw discrepancy can once again, watching these games, I don't think the refs have been atrocious,
But there have been some calls, especially that Boozer gets, where it's like, oh, you just gave it to him because he's strong?
Exactly.
Or like, what are we doing?
I think that's what it is. I think, and this is not just with Boozer, this is with the sport in general, whether it is Shai, whether it is Boozer, whoever it is. We give too many calls to offensive players who initiate all of the contact.
Yes.
Like,
I agree with that.
And I understand the rules are different and it's more for the offense, but if I'm a defender and the offensive guy is attacking me and he is initiating all of the contact, of course it might be a block.
Yeah.
A little bit. But like, he's initiating all the contact. Yeah. And that's what I don't like about it. I
personally think if you sense a bump coming, you should be able to
I should be able to do this.
Absolutely.
I should be able to do this. Like, if someone is going to back me down, for instance, Boozer.
Yeah.
If he's going to catch the ball and not make a move, he's just going to rip and he's just going to back you down. He's going to back you down. He's going to back you down. Why is this the only thing I can do?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You should be able to at least have an arm bar.
I need to have an arm bar.
Right here. And I completely agree with that.
And I think that's a problem. And I'm not saying that's a problem with the officials. Like, I think it's a problem with the rules because the officials are, going by their rule book in a sense. I think it's a problem with the rules in today's game of basketball. Like, offense, I mean, as much as I love him, like, Stephon Castle initiates all the contact when he's driving. He's a physical driver. And that's how he's trained. That's how he's supposed to do. I'm not criticizing him. Once again, I'm criticizing the rules.
Yeah.
Because, like, even with Shai or just any of these elite offensive talents, they're playing into...
Because Shai, and I love Shai once again, but Shai is the primary guy of that arm bar. That I'm going to hit you with this and you can do nothing about it.
Yes.
I just think if that's the case... You should at least be able to swipe it down.
Yeah.
Maybe. If it's coming at you, just get a counter. I don't think that's a foul or physical. I think that's almost like martial arts almost. Like it's an art form if you're able to predict that bump coming.
100%.
If you're able to deflect that when they're once again initiating it.
Exactly.
Then
and I'm not even
that
pushing.
Should be allowed.
I'm just keeping it here.
Absolutely.
He's pushing.
Yes.
Like, I just don't understand it. But once again, I know the rules are built for offense. It's more entertainment. We want to see 110 to 112. Like, I get it. But... yeah.
Which I personally don't. I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. Last game, Tennessee, Michigan. This one is extremely interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because I see upset potential even knowing that Michigan is the better team for 100%.
Sure. I am not the biggest Michigan guy. And I think Gillespie can outplay Elliott.
Absolutely, he can.
I think he will outplay Elliott.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And I think their bigs, it's not a discrepancy like it is with Alabama.
No.
Like it is with St. Louis.
Yeah.
I just think that in this round, it's not going to be easy. And what Michigan has going for themselves is they're not just a talented team. I think they have a top 3 coach in the sport.
Yeah.
Who is really good. Dusty May. I mean, they like Alabama is the number 1 offense in the country.
Yeah.
They're top 3 offense in the country. They're not better than Illinois, but they're top 3 offense in the country, and they were hot.
Yeah.
And the whole second half, they shut that down.
Yeah.
And that's adjustments, that's coaching, that's changing schemes, changing coverages up. So, I am gonna go with Michigan, but I will not. This is the one game of this. If I was a betting man, this would be the one game I wouldn't bet on.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Maybe also the Duke and UConn I wouldn't bet on.
Right.
But just looking at it, my guy has a chance to cement himself as a top 10 pick if he can play good in this game, in my opinion. Nate Ament, who will be the key X factor of this basketball game. Because like you said, I think the bigs match up very well.
Right.
I think Gillespie will outplay Elliott. And then you look at the rest of the 3 guards that Michigan usually has out there, number 11, I think number 1 is a very good basketball player. All of those guys can play.
Yeah.
They can play. Nate Ament is a guy that can play, but will look ass at certain times. 100%. He will be very ass at certain times.
Yeah, I mean, he was not elite offensive efficiency, but like having 16, 7 and 6 or whatever the case he had the other night or last night. I think the freshman, number 1, McKinney, is being able to step up with the absence of Kassan. And you got Namari Burnett.
Yes, Burnett as well.
And you got Rodney Gale Jr. I think those guys need to step up in this game.
Yes, they do.
100% because Bishop on Elliott is probably going to be the matchup.
Yeah.
And Bishop's done pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not the same as Momcilovic, but I mean, it might be easier.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It might be harder. I don't know.
Momcilovic actually disappointed me yesterday, but just keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that'll be a key matchup to watch. Can Bishop slow Elliott down and, maybe not keep him from scoring, but like, because he's not an elite scoring threat, but I would just say keep him from playmaking.
Yeah.
Interesting to see. I think the bigs match up better than any bigs have matched up against Michigan all tournament. So I'll say that.
Yeah. So I completely agree. But if Nate Ament plays great in this game, I would say if he drops at least 15 points, I would take Tennessee to win this game.
Yeah. And I don't know if he will. And I think the separator.
I don't either.
I think the separator is Yaxel and Ament.
Yeah.
I think Yaxel's just much better than Nate Ament. So yeah.
So I will go with Michigan, but Tennessee.
Upset potential.
And if y'all are watching this clip, we are still with you, Tennessee. We believe in y'all. But,
let's go get them.
Yeah, we just think Michigan is a good team. But moving on to our last topic of the day. Victor Wembanyama has recently passed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the MVP ladder after.
By the way, I think if it's the article you're talking about, I think it's cap.
It's the NBA site. It's the NBA website.
Oh, okay, I think on like whether it's odds or whatever, Shai's still plus 700.
And this comes directly after a reporter asked him, "Give me 3 points of why I should be the MVP," and Wemby gave 3 points on why he should be the MVP.
I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, finish, and then I'll go. I'll go first.
And I think I know what you're gonna say. Wemby is a guy. Wemby is so different from everyone else
ever.
Like, not even the player he is, the person he is.
Yes.
He just acts however he wants to act, and it's not on a bad accord either. It's just like he's extremely honest.
Yeah.
He's very insightful, and it's crazy to me, but
it's definitely something I'm like, he's a foreign dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, because I don't know if the word is cultural norms. Or not norms, but social norms.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is. What I'm trying to get at, but like, and I'm not saying this has to do with him being foreign. I don't know, but I'm just saying like, no one, like, people would be criticized for doing this normally.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not gonna say he should be criticized, but I just don't think everyone's doing. I like the, and this is why I'm a Tatum fan. This is why, like, or a big reason I like the humble, like, just,
absolutely.
They're a good team or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. So, but I will say, he said how he felt.
Yes.
And his reason for, being the MVP, I think, is not the reason I think he should be the MVP.
But I will say, those 3 reasons I actually felt were like, damn, did he actually just give like was this planned?
Yeah, no, they're good reasons.
Yes,
like
they are.
And I said this to you.
Yeah.
I was like, well, Wemby, when him and Shai went against each other, and it never got talked about.
No.
It didn't. It was more of like the Spurs. Like, it was like the Spurs beat OKC, which, I mean,
and a lot of that's because Wemby didn't play a lot of minutes in a couple of those.
Exactly.
Well, so.
But I think, like, in an NBA Cup game, like, that's more than a regular game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's a playoff game, but it's more than a regular game.
Yeah.
And both teams really wanted to win that and get the $1 million-something. Like, they're playing like a playoff game. They are.
Yeah.
Because both teams really, really, really want to win. I think it's a toss-up.
Okay.
But I think this reminds me of, I remember you and me, we weren't even arguing. We agreed. But you talked about the D-Rose and the LeBron MVP voting.
Yeah.
And you talk about storylines.
You literally stole my take, but keep going.
And when we talk about storylines, the story of Victor Wembanyama this season and what he's been able to do, starting a trend with the drum after games. He started that. Well, the Vikings started that, but he started that in the NBA. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Teams have done, I think the Panthers have done it too. But you get what I'm saying, though. I know. Yeah. Him doing that, him bringing San Antonio back since what, 10 years maybe, or whatever the case may be. Like, exactly. I think it's just a better story, and his reasonings, like, we did beat them, and the records are that close. I mean, who knows? They might pass them. Yeah, probably won't. But even if it's a 1 or 2 game discrepancy, like, I would probably give the nod to Wemby on the simple fact, like I just said. But if Shai gets it, I'm not gonna be like.
Yeah, and that's kind of.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, he doesn't deserve the MVP.
That's exactly where I'm at. And once again, you literally stole my take.
Okay.
The MVP, and we talked about it last year. We talked about that the year before and the year before, is about the story.
Yes.
And right now, like it or not, I don't like it. I'm an OKC fan. Wemby has the best story in basketball.
Yeah.
The fact that they are a 2 seed, they have completely surpassed expectations.
100%. I mean, no, not even to call you out, but you and me were arguing Shai or Wemby last summer.
No, we were.
And I'm like, nah, it's Wemby. And like, it was a real argument we were having. Like, and I'm like, no, like, and not to interrupt you, you can go back, but I hear a lot of, and it's valid, like no team has ever made a playoff run and like without playing together, like the continuity thing. If you just watch Victor Wembanyama, he breaks rules.
And you watch the Spurs.
Yes, they break rules.
Yes.
Like they're better than the first run OKC team that got knocked out to the Mavs. To Luka.
Yeah.
They're better than that team. I truly do believe that.
They definitely are.
And they have a closer who's been to the playoffs in Fox.
Yes.
And you have Wemby who the offense doesn't run through him, but in 29 minutes he gets 25 points. So he's an elite offensive player.
I agree.
It just doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't give me the ball, get out the way. It's literally like, I'll get off an old board.
Yeah.
But like, my same logic with Jokic, when people say like Shai's a better scorer than Jokic, or I'm like, I mean, obviously Shai, like, he got a deeper bag, but who cares how it looks? If it's just this all game and he's dropping 30,
Absolutely.
like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
And I just think that last time, I think it was in 73 or whatever, Bill Walton, I bring that up.
Yeah.
Bill Walton.
77, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the first team that kind of did that, like no runs together, whatever. Like we just made a run and won the title.
Yeah.
And Bill Walton, never seen nothing like him at the time. And Victor Wembanyama, never seen nothing like him at the time. And that's where they have a shot to do this. I don't know what their path is going to be yet. We have to see that to the finals. But I just think that like he's had an amazing season. He's played games. He's played games. Like he's played enough games.
See, with Wemby, and another thing that I find extremely important is the fact that he said we've played OKC 4 times or 5 times, whatever it is, and we're 3-1, 4-1, whatever it is. And you may just think, okay, he's looking at head-to-head, but he thinks it matters, and a lot of people don't, that the regular season matters. And he brings the mentality of if that can happen, and on a game-to-game basis, that's what the NBA looks like, that's extremely important for the league, in my opinion.
I was just about to say that. He is so good for the league.
Yes, and when you look at the MVP race, you cannot just look at stats. Because statistically, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic, and Luka Doncic are in the conversation for MVP, in my opinion. Jaylen Brown, you could also throw in there. But when you watch the games, in my opinion, there are 2 guys. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Victor Wembanyama right now. Victor Wembanyama, because when you watch him, like you said, he's not getting that much minutes, still getting 25 points. And
3 blocks.
Far and away the best defensive player in basketball history. And then you're watching Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who night after night is giving you great defense, hasn't had his second best player all year, making big shot after big shot from 3-point range, which he hasn't done his entire career at this rate.
Right.
And once again, leading his team to a 1 seed in this stacked West. Now, the question comes, when you really break everything down, who has the better team? Who's had the better team throughout this year? That's a toss-up, in my opinion. Because you look at not having Jalen Williams and then the rest of those guys, that's still, I think it's a deeper team slightly. But then you look at the Spurs, who I would say their starting 5 is probably better as far as De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. So that you throw that argument out the window. Shai is scoring 7 more points. Once again, he didn't have his second best player. So I would slightly lean, saying all of that, I would lean Shai Gilgeous-Alexander still. Right. And there's bias in that. And there's also truth in that. And there's also stats in that. But if Victor Wembanyama won, I would hate it because I'm a Thunder fan, like I said. But that's what the NBA has always been, is about the story.
100%.
And if Victor Wembanyama wins it, He's not. First off, if he wins it this year, it's damn sure not going to be his last. And you can't be mad because when a guy brings what he has brought to the NBA, then it's just like you can hate, but it don't really get you nowhere. The hate stuff don't really get you nowhere.
And the thing that I want to walk away with in Wemby's career, I truly do believe this. We will look back. You know how I think your take was, and I thought it was hot at the time, and then I look back at it and I argue with other people, but you came up with the take of Kawhi was the best player other than LeBron.
Yes.
If we're going prime for prime in our generation.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah.
I think we will look back at Wemby when it is all said and done if we can get 6 more years of healthy Wemby.
Yeah.
Playing this amount of games. You can miss 15 games, 20 games. We will look back at Wemby and say, oh, that's the best basketball player ever.
Yeah.
We drafted prime for prime, we play in 2K, whatever the case may be, number 1 pick all time, give me Wemby.
Yes.
I truly do believe that.
And once again, when you make that statement, a lot of people immediately assume disrespect to certain guys like LeBron, MJ, obviously those greats.
Right.
It's not disrespect. It's what we're watching in and it could call it recency bias, whatever you want to call it. There has never been a guy and another thing he said in the interview, defense, yes, it may not be as important as offense in the MVP race, but it is 50% of a basketball game.
Yes, and the way he plays defense, what people don't understand is, let's say Wemby in his prime averages 30 points a game, right?
Yes.
Just 30. But it's going to be probably above 50% percentage because he's shooting everything at the rim and then he gets catch shoots. Say he averages 30 points a game, close to 50% from the field. And then on that flip side, so let's go with the best offensive season ever.
Yeah.
We'll go with what? Kobe at 37 or Jordan at 37?
Yeah, Harden even you
Harden. Okay, cool. Go with those guys. The offensive gap in points per game is what? 6 or 7 points. Yeah. 6 or 7 points a game, right? That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
On the defensive end, the gap is it's light years.
It's not even close.
And that's why you have to watch the game.
You have to watch the
game. You can't just be like, well, he blocks 3 shots a game. Like, this guy blocks 2.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
No, it's not the same.
What is equivalent to a block shot is when I drive in the paint for a open layup against anybody else in the league or a open dunk against anyone else in the league. And because Wemby is 3 feet away from you, you don't take the layup.
No.
I watched him play the Knicks. Mikal Bridges dribbles all the way in the lane and just but it's not
right
open.
there. Mind you, Mikal Bridges is damn near 6'6" and the craziest wingspan in the league.
Exactly. And that's my point. His impact on the defensive end, we've never seen it in the history of basketball. No. So, I mean, it's more than Hakeem Olajuwon. And we see the way people talk about Hakeem Olajuwon as a defender. So, I think that, best defender ever and top 20 offensive player ever, that has to be took into consideration as a GOAT.
I will say, this has been more of a Wemby conversation. So I'm glad we did have that talk because I think we're both kind of along the same lines. But I do want to throw out, since you threw out Wemby might be the best player we've ever watched, I do want to throw out the fact that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is getting to a point to where he's doing something we've never seen a lead guard do, and it's not close. He is shooting 56% from the field right now as a guard. And I really do... I understand, and obviously it's going to be the same thing with Wemby. There are bigs that have produced and been better in offensive spots. Shaq, I would throw in that mix where if you're saying he's better than Shaq right now, a lot of people are going to call you crazy, and for good reason. Shaq. Yeah. And if I was to say Shai was better than Steph, if you watch Steph play, it's almost like, are you crazy? But watching Shai Gilgeous-Alexander score his points in a way that is still team-friendly, in my opinion, making the right reads, and shooting 56% from the field is something we have never seen before. So I hope that people are watching this MVP race. And honestly, Gav, this might be the best MVP race of all time. When you look at the top 2 guys, and then you look at the top 4 guys who are in the race, it's crazy. it is crazy the season that guys are having, and it's just great basketball, and I'm ready for playoffs, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm ready for Final Four first, but then playoffs,
yeah. Absolutely. So thank you guys for tuning in. Had a good episode today. We will be dropping soon. We're trying to get back on our grind, so thank you guys for tuning in once again, and like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.